This is page 117, question 2. It's orthographic projection again. The figure over shows the pictorial view of a school bag. A thumb sketch of the front elevation is shown below. Draw the front elevation looking in the direction of arrow A, draw an end elevation looking in the direction of arrow B, and draw a plan projected from A above. So we have to draw elevation, plan, end view. Getting into the actual school bag itself. First up, we always look for the overall height, width and depth. Overall height is straightforward, 100 millimeters. Overall width is also straightforward, 100 millimeters. The depth, so from the very front to the very back, 65 millimeters. Again, we'll start with the elevation. So we're going to draw the front elevation looking in the direction of arrow A. We're going to draw the plan after that, and then we have to think about the end elevation. The end elevation is looking in from the left hand side. And we said if you think about a torch, where is the shadow going to be? If I shine a torch in here, the shadow is going to end up on the right hand side. So that is how we figure out where the end view goes. If I look in here with my torch, shadow ends up on the right hand side. I'm going to draw the end elevation on the right hand side of the drawing. Back to the elevation first, however, though. We look at it, we've got a width of 100 overall, and then it's broken into these measurements, 15, 10, 50, 10 and 15. So I'm going to set up a series of grid lines vertically, and I'm going to do the same then with horizontal lines. I need a line that's going to be up 35 mil for the front pouch. I need one that's going to be up 50, another 25, and then a 25 left over. So I'm going to set up horizontal grid lines that are going to let me draw each of these lines later. And we get to that now. Okay, so I've got my elevation 100 high by 100 millimeters wide. It's on the left hand side of the page because the end elevation is going to go over here later on. I said about setting up the grid line, so I'm going to set up a 15, a 10 and a 50. So 15, step over 10, step over 50. Another 10, and I should have 15 on the side. And I'm going to draw those lines vertically. So light construction lines. And that's going to let me draw the elevation. So what I'm doing is setting up all the measurements I need first, then I'll be able to draw the elevation. I've got my vertical line set up. I come along then and I've got my heights. So I need a height of 35, then a height of 50, both from the bottom. So I'm going to step up 35. Again from the bottom, the XY line, I'm going to set up a 50. And then from there, I'm going to step up another 25. So 25 mil up is to there. So I stepped up from the bottom a 35, also from the bottom a 50, and then from that 25. And again, construction lines coming across. And this will let me draw in the detail of the bag. That is my main shape drawn out. I can just start to highlight in or darken in the bits that I need. The pouch at the front. In 15 either side, and it's 35 millimeters high. That gives me the pouch. The outline of the bag outside. Again, it's stepping in 15. And you can see what it does is that after I set up the grid lines, it allows me to very, very quickly draw the shape of the bag. The two straps then on the front come down to here. So my two straps then are darkened in there. And you can see that there's a little bit of setting up to the question, but very quickly you can get your entire elevation drawn. Elevation is done. Now that the elevation is done, I can start setting up the plan. For the plan view, I'm going to continue to bring all of those lines down. So in other words, each of those distances that I set out, I'm going to take those down to the plan because I'm going to use those later. So continuing my grid lines back down, because whatever the widths were in the elevation, the width is going to be the same in plan. To start the plan, we always step down 20 millimeters. You don't have to step down 20, but it's just good practice. It's what we normally do. So that would be the start of the plan. Again, back to the question, when I'm looking at the plan, from the very, very back to the very, very front is 65 millimeters, and the main section of the bag is 50 millimeters. So I'm going to step down 65 to begin with, down 65, and we said the main section is 50, so down 50. And again, I'll set up my construction lines. I have the basic outline of the plan drawn there. I've got all my grid lines set up. Now it's a matter of setting out the shape of it. So to see our plan then looking down on top of it, I'll set up my outline first of all. So the outline of the plan. So we've got our in 15 either side. And it's kind of separated into two sections. Looking down on top, here is the main bag, 50 mil, and here is the top of the pouch, which is 15 millimeters. We also see then the side. Here's the side that we brought down. Here's the other side that we brought down. And we'll also see the strap. So when we look at it, the strap, we'll be able to make that out. And I'll just highlight the straps just to make it look a bit more, so it makes it. Okay, for the end elevation, so the end view or the side view, I've drawn in or highlighted the sections that we're going to see. So when we look in at the side of the bag, we're going to see this side section. We're going to see the top half of the bag, so this curved section, and we're going to see the side of the front pouch. So there's three pieces we're going to see. All the other parts are going to just look like straight lines. So when we look in sideways, the front and this top surface will all look like straight lines. This will look like a straight line. This surface will look like a straight line. This curve will look like a radius of a circle. Very importantly, that curve is radius 50. So I'm going to have to set out a curve somewhere in that, and I'm going to need to find the center point for the curve. But most of it I'll be able to draw from my elevation and plan. I'm going to copy the measurements over. So to do that now, as always, where the elevation and plan join, in other words the side of it, where they hit the XY line, I'm going to take my 45-degree angle. I'm going to copy the heights from the elevation. So here's the very, very top of the bag. Here is where the back portion of the bag is. The slanted section at the front. And the top of the pouch. So the front pouch. So I've taken 4 heights over. I'm going to take my widths from the plan. So here's the very, very back of the bag. I'm going to take that over to hit the 45-degree line and up. The main body of the bag, this is where it ends, over and up once more, and the very, very front of the main pouch, the front pouch, there it is, over and bring that up. And so as we said, what we're doing here is we're copying the heights from the elevation and we're copying the widths from the plan. So the distance from front to back was 65. Again, distance from front to back will be 65. I've got all the grid pieces put in. I can actually start to draw in the shape of the bag itself now. So the slanted section on the bag, this slanted section coming down, I'm going to draw this piece in first. I'm going to draw the pouch, and then we'll put in the curved section afterwards. So our slanted section, here's the back part of the slanted section. Here is the front part of the slanted section. And so that is the shape of the side of the bag. The pouch then connects onto it. And so how we draw it without measurements. I knew that this is the height of the pouch. I've copied that height over. So here's the height of the pouch. I knew that this was the depth of the pouch. So I've copied that over and up, and it gives me the depth. So I could measure the height and the depth of the pouch without actually having to do anything with it. Last thing that I need to do is put in the curved section. And we said it was radius 50. The curved section touches the very, very top of the bag here, and it's down a radius of 50. And we actually have the 50 radius already put in from earlier. We measured that distance of 50. So all it means now is that I need to come along. I already automatically have the center. Take my height, and it should line up with the front of the bag. And I'll draw on my radius. And that is the end elevation or end view, it doesn't matter what you call it, of the bag drawn. And again, back to the sketch, you can see we have the slanted side, here it is. We have the side of the pouch, here it is. And we have our curved section here, and here it is. So we have our elevation, plan, end elevation done, and done correctly with our 45-degree angle. That's the way we draw orthographic projection.